What's up, everyone? Chris Driven here. If you are listening to this while you're on a walk, working out at the gym, or watching this on your TV while you're eating dinner, thanks for letting me join you and or your family, friends. But in this video, we will be talking about, as you will see in the title, how I met my wife / soulmate, best friend, and for the future kids, your mother. Once again, I have mentioned in a previous video that, one of the great things about filming on YouTube is you get to leave your legacy behind, and you get to live on through videos existing on YouTube. But anyway, so to get straight to the point, I'm gonna try to do my best on storytelling. Like I said, since this is also still an experiment, or not an experiment, I'm always going to be doing videos like these, apart from every other thing that I can possibly do with the schedule I have right now for work. So we're going to kick it off back to 2015, where I was a freshman at Riverside in El Paso, Texas, and I was transitioning over to El Dorado High School, which is where my wife and her best friend were at. So we were at an orientation, and at that orientation, I did not know anybody at all. So you can imagine I was just alone. And apart from that, many of the students that went to El Dorado, they all knew each other because they went to what's called the 9th grade academy or something like that. So practically all the 9th graders are in one entire school. There was no other grades, just 9th graders, from my understanding, called 89. And so at orientation, I was alone, and her best friend spotted me because they had never seen me before. And once again, all the students there, they grew up kind of knowing each other, like in the area, going to the schools that were in that area. And I was somewhere else entirely, and the Lower Valley, compared to being in the Far East Side in El Paso, Texas. So, it starts there. However, they never went to come and talk to me until, school starts. And it was her best friend, Gabby, which if you're watching this, hi, Gabby, that spots me during lunch because I am just wandering the hallways alone, as always. I've always been just kind of a lone wolf. Still am, but I just hang out with a lot of the girls. And so, she comes up to me as I'm coming out of the restroom, and I was actually hoping that nobody would even talk to me or bug me. Like, in my mind, I was thinking, damn, I wanna graduate high school, or I'm going to graduate high school alone. Like, I just imagined myself already taking my diploma and, walking that stage, like, alone, and just celebrating alone. Gotta talk about how the Californians drive out here. Another video. Okay. And so, like I said, that was just pretty much my overall thought of what was going to be happening in my life. And so she introduced me to Karina eventually when I got to hang out with them later on in the mornings. So I did kind of BS my way into, Yep. Yeah, so during lunchtime, Gabby invited me over, which was Karina's best friend, my wife. Hung out with them every time during lunch now. And then she also told me to come in the mornings when I would be able to see my wife. And, over time, we got just kind of knowing each other little by little, but me not really talking so much. It just so happens to be that one of the friends or ex-friends in the group was going to be having a Sweet 16. And Karina, my wife, needs a partner. One day when I was at home, they happened to text me, hey, do you want to be her partner? And me not really knowing that she liked me or had a crush on me at the time. You know, guys are really clueless. And so, surprisingly, this is where the biggest moment takes place, because for me, I hated being in quinceañeras, Sweet 16s, being involved with anything involving dancing or putting myself out there because I was embarrassed or shy. So I did not want to do any of that. But for whatever reason, in my mind, I was thinking maybe like, well, what the heck else am I going to do? You know, I don't have friends. I don't have anybody to hang out with. I'm just playing video games. Like, there's nothing better to do. So I said, you know what, screw it. Let's do it. So I said yes to being her partner. And that moment pretty much determined the rest of our future. Because if I had said no to being her dance partner, there's a high chance or possibility that we might not even be together today. And it's a bit sad and crazy to think about. And so this is, I hope, something that some people can see as, you know, if there's an opportunity that's presenting itself to, you know, get to know somebody, you have to take that chance, because you just never know where it will take you. Although, of course, depending on the circumstance or the situation. And so we've been together for 9 years and about 6 months. You know, just recently married on June 7th, 2025. And I really do want everybody to know that this relationship has not been all that pretty. You know, we've never really had any sort of arguments. Normally, when we have disagreements, we just stay quiet. Probably not too great of a thing to do. It's not healthy. But I'd rather us stay quiet than like be saying something that we would both regret. Because, you know, in the heat of the moment, you will regret saying some things. But, you know, at this point in life, you know, she is the one. And I have already told her before, too, that if we ever were to split up, that I would never even try to be with anybody. Might sound like a red flag, but like, that's just how I am. I know everybody is different, but I wouldn't want to put myself like through that, and I hope it doesn't come out the wrong way too, you know. I don't know. Like, if I already did it once and it was as great as it can be, why even try to do that all over again? That's just me personally. I hope nobody else really thinks that, but I don't know. I think I would just be better off. Once again, lone wolf talk, but that would never happen, and hopefully it doesn't happen in the worst case scenario of things, because, you know, life. And I mean, as if, like, if I'm not even going to mention it. It's just bad. I just really want to live a long life with her and grow old with her. So that is basically the goal. And being that I'm trying to shoot for a career that will put my life at risk, I just hope that I can make it home every day and just live a long life with her. So yeah, kids, everyone. Basically, that is how I met her and stayed with her. Not how exactly, but just by saying yes to being her dance partner since the very, very beginning, before we really even knew each other. That's what made everything happen. And just for the record, I've never really known how to be a boyfriend or a long-term boyfriend or any of that. It's like nobody really teaches you these things unless you have parents that are around. And especially, if you're a son or daughter, like that can, have somebody that can teach you the ways on how to respect, your partner and how to act, how to behave, just everything. Didn't really have that, so it's, I don't know, I guess it has me surprised as to how I can even, be here and how I would have lasted. I don't know. It's just destiny, I guess. But yeah, along the ways, with a relationship, it takes work. So you never want to stop trying, or not. I don't want to say it's never ending trying to impress, but you always have to find a way to better yourself for your partner. And that's part of what love is. Because if you do truly love somebody, you will change. And then for the more positive ways, not change who you are. You will be who you are, but if there are things that need improvement, then those are the things you will need to work on. Otherwise, you can and will lose your partner compared to other situations, but won't really get into that. So, there's obviously a lot more, behind this story. But I will leave it at that. So that way this doesn't get too long. And I'm trying to figure out a voice that works with storytelling. Because when I was editing the other videos, I was like, damn, do I sound like that? So I gotta find the right tune, the right pitch. Just kidding. But yeah, Korean, if you're watching this, I love you. And I wish us the best. Right now we're living in California. So the next video will be about that. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. I will still be in the same type of shirt. But for now, on this episode of being in the office of the Toyota RAV4 at the moment, we will end it here. So, as always, stay driven, pay attention to the road, and I will see you later.